So it was Carnival on the weekend. Imagine someone said to me, as soon as they saw me, they said, "Oh, you're Caribbean, so you can have jerk chicken or curry goat."
Oh no.
These times I'm vegan now.
Why don't all think we eat the same thing?
I don't understand. This is what I'm talking about. Consistent microaggressions.
Microaggressions.
That's exactly what we're talking about when we talk about microaggressions. So microaggressions, for those that don't know, are behavioral snubs or slights that may not intend to cause harm, but do exactly that.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
They often lean into stereotypes and kind of take away a person's individuality. In Lewis's case,
100%.
he's vegan, but because he's Caribbean and black, someone assumed he was eating
curry goat or jerk chicken. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And so this is what tends to happen when we interact with people and we are not aware necessarily of where prejudices, biases, and our, as you said, leaning into stereotypes has caused us to hold certain beliefs.
Yeah.
And so we then make comments, or we may behave in a certain way. Like, I would hate to think you've been in this situation, but I know I definitely have been in it, where I've had people who are non-black come over and just stroke my hair and be like, "Oh my gosh, your hair's so, it's just so different. It's just so, I just love your." Like, since when did I become a pet?
A pet, and then you kind of become, your humanity is kind of reduced, even though they don't mean to.
Right.
And even cases like, okay, one thing is assuming chicken's being eaten. Another thing is like assuming that a group of black people have been arrested because they've done something wrong, because black people are rowdy.
Exactly. So actually I've seen that. I've had that where I've gone to a company for an insight day with a group of young people, and unfortunately then they've had interactions with the police when on the way home, and it's like, well, what was the reason for stopping them? Well, we assumed they were up to no good. They actually just came back from a corporate company going and learning about potential careers. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So the point that we're getting at here when we talk about this particular topic of microaggressions is that as a result of not necessarily checking our own biases, and as a result of not understanding where we may hold certain prejudices, we end up behaving in ways, making comments, saying things, interacting with people in a way that causes them to, as Natalie said, not necessarily feel as if their individuality and humanity is actually being valued, seen, and prioritized. So in the context of the Woodcraft Folk, whilst we think that we're talking about groups of people and individual people who are very self-aware and who are very intentional and try their best to be inclusive, we still have to be very conscious of just how limited in many ways all of our scopes are, just simply due to the experiences we've had. And therefore appreciate that people who come from communities, backgrounds, demographics that are not our own, we have to question whether the normal language that we think is going to be seen as a joke, a bit of fun, a laugh, whatever, is actually going to be received that way. Do you know what I mean? So our question for you all as you go back to your own groups in your localities to discuss this is like, when have you heard, whether it's young people, volunteers, members, families, whoever it is, different stakeholder groups, do things, when have you heard or seen them do things that you would now classify as a microaggression as a result of what we've heard today? And this is not about judgment. This is not like this happened and that person's bad. Oftentimes the person is not bad, it's the behavior we're talking about. But when have they done or said things that you would go, actually, maybe that was a microaggression? And as a follow-up question, in your opinion, how could you prevent that going forwards? So, nice little bit on microaggressions.
And remember, microaggressions can occur across various different identity types. So gender, ability, marital status, age,
refugee status, all of it.
Language. So the examples that you come up with don't have to be race related. They can be across a broad range of identities.